Here's the real reason why your class feels chaotic. It may not be what you think. Hello, my name's Helena. I am a coach for new and first year teachers. And welcome to the 30-day Classroom Calm Now Challenge. Over the next 30 days, I'm going to be showing you how to create a classroom that runs itself. And in week 1, we're going to be talking about the mindset shifts you need to make in order to automate your classroom. I still remember the day back in 2018 when I didn't feel cut out to be a teacher. I had spent our entire math lesson and getting my students back to their seats, reminding them to raise their hand, just putting out fires the entire time. Later that day in the parking lot, I ended up actually crying because I felt like such a failure. My kids had completely bombed the review from the lesson that day, and I knew they were going to fail their math test because of it. At the time, I felt like I had failed my kids, but when I look back now to those days, I realized there were 3 big mistakes I was making that was actually making my classroom worse instead of better. First thing is I would come in completely frazzled. When I came in chaotic, so would my students. You see, whatever kind of energy you come into the classroom, your students will often amplify. When I would come in frantically trying to plan and prep the day of, and I just fell behind before the day even started, my kids picked up on that, often would make the day even worse before it even started. The second thing was I was told this was going to be a hard class, which meant I treated it like a hard class. Before the school year even started, I had the teachers come tell me that they tried everything they could for this class, but it was going to be a hard year. Which meant that I treated those kids like it was a hard class, which means I treated that class differently than I would have if I knew this was the best class in the world. I was actually scared that the class would be a disaster, which ended up in the class being a disaster. If I were to be truly honest with myself, I was terrified of disruptive behavior happening because I was terrified that I wouldn't know what to do when something happened. So I didn't have the confidence to run my classroom. My students could sense that. My point is, when you show up as a frazzled teacher, oftentimes your students are going to mirror that back to you. You're going to have a very frazzled, chaotic classroom. If you liked these tips, make sure to comment master so I can send you my free classroom management guide with my top 10 classroom management strategies. Make sure to follow along for part 2 because we're going to be talking about how to create the perfect classroom management plan.